Our headline says it. To be the best, you don't have to sweep the best, but it doesn't hurt. And the Rangers have done it. They swept the best team in baseball. We talk about it next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Kelly and Jake Berger, the heroes of this one, as the Rangers sweep the Brewers and move closer and closer to the postseason. Hi there, and welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. John Radigan here. We've got the great Tanner over here helping us out. Of course, I'll know him from the Mavs show. We're glad to have Tanner. Thrilled to have you. See a lot of you in the chat already. Excited about this, as I am, as we are. What a sweep. What a homestand. What a two homestands this has been for the Rangers. They're 10-2, by the way, in their last two homestands. They're 12-2 in their last 14 home games. This team has figured it out at home so far this season, or certainly in the second half of this season, and they continue to excel on the home field right now. What a series this was in the game. 2 home runs by Jake Berger, and Merrill Kelly gave up 2 home runs to the first 2 batters. It was 2-0 before the third hitter came to the plate, and then he settled in. Merrill Kelly throws 93 pitches. He gets the victory. He had no problems after those first 2 home runs from the first 2 guys that came to the plate, and that was Turang and Churio. And then he just mowed through the Milwaukee Brewers. He gets to over 1,000 innings in his career. He's at 1,001, having pitched 5 2/3 innings. The 10 hits, might look like a problem, but it's okay if all you allow is 3 runs via those 10 hits. And he did have 6 strikeouts and no walks was big. He's 3-0 in his last 5 starts, and Merrill Kelly is 3-1 as a Texas Ranger. So what a pickup he has been since the trade deadline. He gets the victory. The Rangers get the victory. Down 2-0 in the first inning. It doesn't necessarily feel good. The Rangers come up. They go down 1-2-3 in the first inning. But Jake Berger just says, hold on a minute. And he leads off that second inning with a home run. Well, suddenly, it's fine. 2-1. We're okay. Let's go. And then the Rangers explode in the 5th inning with another Berger home run. They got 2 runs, interesting way, in the 3rd inning. And you have to give lots of credit to Jock Peterson in that 3rd inning. Jock Peterson hustling to first base to beat out a double play is the reason the Rangers were able to stay alive and avoid a double play in that inning. They scored a run, actually, on that play. And then, so flustered by all of that, and maybe by seeing a resurgence of speed from Jock Peterson, next thing you know, Freddie Peralta balks in a run, too. So a really strange 3rd inning that accounted for a couple of runs after the Rangers got 1 in the 2nd inning, and then they came back with 2 more in the 5th, and they got another one in the 8th, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful game, a beautiful, beautiful series for the Rangers, where there was a response in so many instances. Yesterday, Jack Leiter, he admitted it after the game. He just didn't have his command. He didn't have his best stuff, and the Rangers picked him up, right? It was again today, coming from behind. It's the 15th time the Rangers have come from behind this season. It was great to come from behind and get this victory. Texas is now 14-4 in their last 18 games. and that is only like the second time in their history that they've gone 14-4 in 18 games, especially this late in the season. And they're only the second team to sweep Milwaukee this year. The first team to do that was in the very first season of the year, or first series of the year, and that was the New York Yankees, who swept them in that very first series back in March of 2025. So pretty good accomplishment against a team that has proven all year, other than the first series, that they're an awfully good team and awfully difficult to beat. They kept fighting both yesterday and today, and the Rangers kept answering, and they sweep this series. Really fun. The last time they swept the Milwaukee Brewers, the last time any Texas Rangers team swept the Milwaukee Brewers was 1996. And the last time they swept the Milwaukee Brewers in Arlington was 1972. Are you kidding me? The first year of the Rangers was the last time they swept the Brewers. Now, granted, especially once Milwaukee moved into the National League, it's not like they play each other that often, not every year. Now they do. Now it'll be once up there and once down here and once up there and once down. But for a long time, there would be years where they didn't play each other. That said, 1972 since they swept the Brewers in Arlington. So really, really fun series. And it takes the Rangers right into a position where they can and plan to and will accomplish, according to what they think, all of their goals. And they're all still alive. They can still win the division. They can obviously still accomplish a wild card. We talked to Bruce Bochy about it before the game, and somebody asked him, why not you? And he said, why not us? He said everything is still alive, and everything he believes will go down to the wire. But to have back-to-back home stands where they go 5-1. So this one and the last one, extremely, extremely impressive. This one, of course, the difficult competition that they faced in this one with the Astros and then the Brewers. Now they, of course, have the Mets and the Astros on the road, and we'll talk more about that coming up later in the show. We'll also get to Jeff Wilson. He's there at Globe Life Field, and he'll bring us some post-game reaction to this one, of course. And, we'll also continue to talk about things like standings and how things are going to shape up as the Rangers hit the road. They do get tomorrow off in New York, and it's always fun for the players and truly, for those of us who I don't anymore, but when I travel with the team, an off day in New York was a fun thing. And so the Rangers will have that, and they'll really be able to celebrate. They've got to feel so good about the way things are going. I talked to I was, at the clubhouse this morning prior to the game, and I talked to Cody Freeman just about what these young guys are feeling. And he just said, we just feel more comfortable and more confident every day. There's no aha moment like, oh, wow, now I got it, right? It's just a continual grind to keep it going, keep fighting, and basically keep the team first. When I asked him, do you have that? He said, all we care about is the team, which is such the right answer and such a good approach to have. And, fun to watch Cody Freeman again today. He had that single in the fourth inning, and he nothing came of it, but he's just pesky out there. He's always getting stuff done. And the Rangers, pretty amazing in a way that the Rangers score without needing Cody Freeman to drive in any runs today, or Michael Hellman, although Michael Hellman, not surprisingly, did score a run in this game after he singled. So the young guys, these guys that are at the bottom of the order today, it was Osuna and Freeman and Hellman. They're just a delight to watch everything that they do and all that they accomplish. And they absolutely are energizing the rest of the team. One of the guys we also talked to prior to the game today was Marcus Semien, as we update his progress. And he appears to be not ahead of schedule, I would say, but a little bit, but right on schedule. He feels like right at, and I say that, they said it was a 4 to 6 week injury. He immediately thought 4, and he feels like that maybe he'll be able to return to action at 4 weeks, which would coincide with the beginning of the next homestand. So he's going to go on the road with the team, and he's going to start to begin to do baseball things. He had the boot taken off on Friday. Remember, it's a broken foot and a problem with the Lisfranc, a sprain of the Lisfranc, and a fractured bone. And he's never had that. So he's not exactly sure how it'll respond. He said he'll shut it down if he feels any pain at all, but so far he hasn't. But the only thing he's done that even approximate baseball activities is to kind of stand with his feet shoulders width apart and just kind of move as you would in a batter's box, is what he said, as he just tries to, figure it out. But starting probably Friday, he'll probably not do anything like this on the off day, but maybe probably Friday, he'll start to do things like take swings in the cage and then ultimately get over to the point where he's taking ground balls and that type of thing. He'll continue to do that throughout the road trip, and then ideally he'll be back with the team and playing when they get home for the final homestand and then ultimately the final 9 games of the year. Better news even about Adolis Garcia, who is healing more quickly than anybody thought he would, and it feels like he is going to be able to play as soon as this series in New York. And Bruce Bochy told us that they're not really interested in having him come back as the designated hitter. When he comes back, he's going to come back as a right fielder. The beauty of that is, you lengthen the bench, you strengthen the bench. You take Osuna or you take Freeman and you put him, as a wonderful bench player and potential pinch hitter. It's really a difficult decision for Boch in many ways because you don't want to lose that energy, that enthusiasm that those guys have brought to the team. So it's really a fun right now. That's what Boch said. He goes, "This is what September baseball is," right? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be nerve-wracking, and it's supposed to be everything we're seeing from this Rangers team right now, who this team is responding in a way that really shouldn't be very surprising to those of us who have watched Bruce Bochy for these 3 years that he's been around. I remember when he first got here, the narrative when he first got here, before we really even knew what he was, and how he'd be. Chris Young told us, he said, when Bruce Bochy walks in the room, the heart rate of everybody in the room goes down. And I think he still has that calming effect. His approach, his just demeanor, how calm he is, makes all these guys in this intense pressure cooker of a situation, they're calm enough, they're relaxed enough to do what they know how to do best, and that's play baseball. And it's just beautiful. It's really fun to watch it and really fun to see Bruce Bochy work his magic, right? Because we've said it since the beginning of the year. If this team is able to get to the playoffs, nobody wants to deal with them, especially not if Eovaldi's back, and that could be still a stretch. We don't have much of an update on Evo yet. That could still be a stretch, but they still don't want to deal with this club when they get to the playoffs, not with Jacob deGrom at the top of that rotation, and then Merrill Kelly, who was so great today, following right behind him. So anyway, lots more coming up. We're going to talk to Jeff about this one and hear what he has to say. We'll talk about deGrom some more. He's headed back to New York to face the Mets for the first time since he left there. We'll get into that Mets series and some things that are happening around the world of baseball. We'll get to those comments that you're making too. We can't wait to talk to you about all of this as we continue with the DLLS Rangers podcast. Hey, but did you know Monarch Money are great partners for helping you budget, right? But it's so much more than a budget app. They are the best budgeting app, according to the Wall Street Journal in 2025. And Forbes says they are the best budgeting app for couples. So it's an unbelievable new sort of, better mousetrap, if you will, right? It's like there have been many other budgeting apps over the years, but Monarch Money takes it to a whole new level. They allow you to put everything together in one place, literally from your 401ks to your stock portfolios to your bank accounts to your credit cards. It's all here. And then it's either on your phone, or it's on your laptop, or it's on both, and it's easily accessible. It's all right there. So that part of it is fantastic. And then it's their mindset where they want to grow your wealth, help you grow your money, your income. They want to do all those things for you at Monarch Money. So go there and use the code DLLS at monarchmoney.com, and you'll get 50% off, or basically half of your first year free at monarchmoney.com. Also, we're going to have a fun day this Saturday at our Cigars and Conversations Day at the Casa de Monte Cristo with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. They're our partners, and we've been pushing this thing for a bit now, and we want you to be a part of it from 2 to 6 on Saturday, September the 13th. We remind you this continues to be our month of celebrating Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and this week of this month, we are encouraging each and every one of you to consider being a big. It's one of the most rewarding things you can do. I talked to Anthony Andro, our former colleague at Fox and the Star-Telegram. He said, you get so much out of it for putting so little in. So become a big brother today. The trip for the Rangers is going to be really fantastic and really fun because of this Jacob deGrom thing, going back to New York, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and then facing an Astros team. And who knows? I mean, they obviously lost the series to the Rangers. They go to Toronto. They lose game one, and it was a bit of a heartbreak, right? And it was a game that they lost because they're, essentially because their closer's on the shelf, right? So one of those that I saw several people that are on my Twitter feed that cover the Astros, like, oh, worst loss of the year, maybe, and those kind can be pretty demoralizing. So let's see what happens with the Astros, but they're not a particularly great team at home, and so the Rangers could go in there. Nobody yet, and we'll see if Jeff has an update on this. Nobody yet has made a proclamation that the Rangers need to go 5-1 or 6-0 on this road trip. And the reality is, unlike that last road trip where they couldn't quite accomplish that, they went 4-2 by sweeping the Athletics and then only taking one of the three from the Diamondbacks. But they couldn't quite accomplish that 5-1 or 6-0 on the road. But obviously they're still in it thanks to a 5-1 homestand. Now, all they need to do, basically, is keep winning 2 out of 3 in each of their last series. I guess there are 5 series left now, right? 2 more on the road, 2 more at home, and then the final one also on the road against Cleveland. So in those 5 series, you feel like if they win 2 out of 3 in every one of them, they're going to have enough wins, which is going to be somewhere probably just north of 85. And they'll have enough wins to make it into the playoffs. Now, they've moved to within 2 games of the top spot in the American League West and to within 1 game of the wild card right now. So those are obviously both so in play. And if they're able to overtake Houston and Seattle and win this division, oh my gosh, that makes it so much better and so much easier. There's the West standings, and the Rangers, as we say, at 77-70, by the way. It's the first time this season that they've been 7 games over 500. So they're at 77-70. They've played, actually right now, until the Mariners and Astros each play their games later today. Right now, the Rangers have played 2 more games than each of those teams, and they'll have 1 more after the end of tonight's play, but I think both teams will play tomorrow and get that evened up. So anyway, it's just fantastic to see what this Rangers team has done in the second half of the season since the All-Star break at home. The Rangers are 21-9. And those 21 wins are more than any other team in Major League Baseball at home. 21 home wins, more than any team in Major League Baseball. It's not the best record because a couple of teams, I think maybe the Brewers, one of them, are like 18-6. Haven't had quite as many home games, but 21-9 at home since the All-Star break. We remember they started the second half of the season right after the break with that great 8-1 homestand. Their only loss in that stand, of course, was to Tarek Skubal and the Detroit Tigers at Game 3 of that 3-game series to start the second half of the season. But again, then we thought there was a spot there where they were just pretty much done after they started to hit the skids in early August. And then the injury thing started happening. And, when they lost Marcus Semien and Evan Carter basically on the same day, like, oh boy, here we go. And then just a few days later, they lose Corey Seager, and somewhere in there too, they lose Nathan Eovaldi. And it just felt like, well, it's been fun. And I think in some ways, this has been one of Bruce Bochy's best jobs managing, to pull all of this together and to massage this, right, and to juggle these lineups as he has with these young guys who, thankfully, so many of them are so versatile that he can play them in multiple different positions or switch them over to another spot at another point in the game. And that versatility is certainly paying for these players. And right now it's paying for the Rangers, who beat the Milwaukee Brewers 6-3 today. Yeah, 14-4. Oh, I like that, Leon, since the Beltre statue unveiling. Maybe this is the magic of AB coming back. But so 2 of 3 the rest of the way, Leon says, would give them 87 wins, which should make the playoffs. And frankly, at this point, the way the Astros in particular are leaking oil, 87 possibly could win the division. Might not. The Mariners have been playing well at home. They're at home. I think they have a chance to sweep the Cardinals today. But then again, then they have to go on the road. And one of the places they have to go is Houston, and we know that is a difficult place to play too. So Jeff Wilson joins us now from Globe Life Field. It's got to be feeling pretty good in that clubhouse, Jeff. I know it was even before the game. Boch told us, though, he said, yeah, we like to get greedy on these game threes when we've won, the first 2. And good. They were greedy and it paid off.
Yeah, what a win. It didn't look good after 2 batters, but then and really 3, because Christian Yelich hit the piss out of that ball. That ball was absolutely smoked.
He did.
For the first out of the game. But then Kelly settled down, asked him afterward about it. He said it was just 2 bad pitches, and the first 2 guys hit him out, Terang and Churio, who are really good players. And, for the Rangers to do what they did to Peralta, who hadn't allowed a run in 30 innings.
Yeah.
They made him work. He threw 113 pitches in 5 innings. I kept, after the Berger home run, I just assumed that Pat Murphy was going to go get him, but oh no, he left him in to face at least Josh Young, and I think another hitter. It was like, come on, how much punishment can one guy take? But here we are at the end of the day. The Rangers have swept the team with the best record in baseball. They went 5-1 on this homestand. They're 14-4 in their last 18 games, something to that effect.
Yep, that's it.
Maybe even 4. So I mean, you look at what they're doing, where they are in the standings. Right now, pending the results of those games, a game out of the wild card and 2 out of the West. I mean, it's stunning, and I think these guys are feeling it. I think even they didn't believe it for a while, and now that they have sustained it, they took some shots here on this homestand in this series. I mean, with last night's game, even the Brewers going in front there in the 5th it was, and then the Rangers responding immediately with 4 runs. Today it's 2-0 after 2 batters. That generally isn't a good indication of how your day is going to go. Or is a good indication of how your day is going to go, but not today, because the Rangers quickly drew even and then went ahead. So I mean, it's they believe, and they talk about all this young energy that's come around, and guys have something to prove. Well, Jake Berger has something to prove. He had 4
Sure.
home runs on this homestand. Um, it's nice to see, and then you're going to see guys start to come back who the Rangers really need. I mean, they need. I know people are not thrilled with Adolis Garcia's season, and I can't blame them. But I'd rather have Adolis Garcia in the lineup than Alejandro Osuna.
Sure.
There's just no way around it. And when and if Corey Seager comes back, you'd rather have Corey Seager than any just about any shortstop in the American League. But the fact is that something has been lit under this team, and they're responding to it.
It's interesting. I heard Dave Raymond talking today about it, where he was saying, that when there's only one young guy, so a Wyatt Langford or, whoever it might be, it's hard for them to necessarily, and he said it on the broadcast, he said it's like Wyatt Langford's been sitting at the adult table at Thanksgiving ever since he got here. And now all these young people are here, and he's like, oh, that's great. I'm at the kids' table, right? And so maybe, I think that they'll all feel this enthusiasm, this joy that they are bringing to the games, like that won't evaporate, even if they're not playing the role that they are right now. And as long as the team continues to win. But I suppose it's a slight concern, isn't it, though, that a lot of this is being driven by guys who likely, when everybody's healthy, won't be playing.
That's true. There's no question about it. I think as you look at things, I think Hellman retains his spot in center field. I think they'll keep Langford put in left, and then you wonder what happens with like a Cody Freeman. This guy who has been the spark plug.
Yep.
What Hellman did the first 2 nights was fun and all, but and he had a big smile on his face after his catch and after his home runs, and that's cool. But like Freeman, he scores from third on a infield ground ball and he gets pumped up. He gives the old flex and everything, and that kind of gets everybody going. So I would suspect that he stays. I don't know that he's going to play a lot at second base, although there would be a need if the Rangers want to sit Josh Smith against a left-hander. So it's just, but those injuries are down the road. Is Corey Seager really going to come back? Got to wait and see. Adolis, it sounds like, could be this weekend or Houston. Okay, that's fine. Simeon, we talked to him today. John, you were part of that discussion. He's thinking very, very late in the regular season at best. So there's still going to be a need for Hellman and for Freeman and Zeke Duran, who is a young player. All right, that's a young guy who can get fired up. Langford, you saw on the triple when he slid in last night.
Yeah.
Very, very excited.
Yeah.
And I think Berger has a chance to add a little juice there too. This is what, his third full season. So I mean, he's not exactly a wily veteran. So look, whatever it is, and we keep asking about it, and you keep asking, how do you sustain it? They have sustained it. This we're past 2 weeks since Marcus Semien and Evan Carter went on the injured list or were declared out for long stretches of time, and this team is 14-4 since then. You keep asking. I keep asking. I'm guilty of it. How do you sustain this? It is being sustained.
Yeah.
All right. This might be who they are right now, and that doesn't mean that they're not going to get shut down in a game or two, like what happened in Arizona. But there's just something with this team right now that's doesn't make any sense in the world, John, but it's working.
Yeah, the classic example might be the 11-0 beating at the hands of the Astros over the weekend, and they came right back and won the finale in that one. So, there's lots more to come as we continue to talk about this game. We'll talk about the road trip next, too, and some of the one of the fun subplots to that is Jacob deGrom. It's all coming up. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. And we want to tell you about our supporters club. Have you heard about this yet? This is fun. It's a very inexpensive way for you to become, sort of an insider with us. There are 2 levels. One of them will get you access to those exclusive emojis that you see. The other one will get you access to videos that are produced behind the scenes here at our DLLS Sports Studios, and they're just fun. They're just sort of slice of life type things. Us talking about things that don't necessarily come up on the podcast. Um, Jeff and I recorded one. I think the Queen said she's going to release that tomorrow or the next day. So you'll want to watch for that. But the only way you'll have access to it is if you join that supporters club. It's a new thing that it's $15 or either $5 to join the club. And I think it's well worth it. I think you'll enjoy it. I think it's worth every penny. Our supporters club, new to DLLS.
And hey, while you're joining things, become a diehard. I mean, they're both important, but the diehard gets you the access to all of our copy, all of our stories. It gives you 20% off of our stuff, whether it be our events or our merchandise, which you can get at store.allcitynetwork.com. And then you get a free t-shirt at store.allcitynetwork.com. The price right now, you missed out on the $36 sale, so we're back to our regular price of $79.99, which is still a remarkable value for what you get and who you're getting it from. I'll leave myself out of this conversation, but Clarence Hill and Sam Nessler and Tim Cato, who's becoming a national writer, so we're going to have a new Cowboys writer who's going to come on board. We just have an experienced team that really knows how to get around a clubhouse or a locker room, how to work sources, how to spot news, how to identify things that are newsworthy and important to fans. And we do it in a fun manner. We're not hoity-toity. We'll sit and talk with you. We'll talk things out. And that's what being a fan's about and what being a diehard's about. So join today.
Yeah, we encourage you to do that, Jeff. The Rangers 6-3 in the 9 games in September. They've won 5 of the last 6 series, and they're 5-1 on each of the last 2 homestands, which is truly amazing. You mix in another one, an 8-1 homestand, and with 21 wins since the All-Star break at home, Jeff, the Rangers have more wins than any team in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. So, man, they have, just like in 2023, they figured something out on the road for the playoffs. They've figured something out at home. Bless you, Tom.
Yeah, and
bless you.
And I'm not, talk about, I would be curious to see, is this still as pitcher friendly now that the Rangers are hitting home runs?
Sure.
Is that still a belief? And David Murphy, we talked about that with him about, is this ballpark pitcher friendly because the Rangers pitching is so bad and the offense is so bad? How has it changed? But being a good home team is half the formula. The other half is surviving on the road, and the Rangers haven't done that, and they need to do it now. They've got 1.5 trips left, and this one's at the Mets, and then it's the Astros, and what could be the series of the year for them. And we keep saying they need to win series. They do. Let's be realistic, though. 3-3 would be great as long as 2 of the wins came at Houston. To win that season series and finish with the tiebreaker there, because the Astros are in play now. They weren't necessarily in play when this thing started, this stretch, and now they are. The West is in play. There are scenarios where it's the Mariners and the Rangers who make the playoffs, and the Astros who stay home. So it's time to dial in on the road, and they just came off a winning road trip. Granted, it was against lesser talent. In the competition, in the A's, who are talented but just aren't there yet, and the Diamondbacks who are pretty good. So the Mets are tough, man. They're gonna be throwing three rookies, which is interesting, and the Rangers are countering with their best, at least in the first game. And gosh, I really wasn't expecting this, John, but here it is. And there you see DeGrom, Corbin, Latz. Glad for Latz. I think it's the right move to make Malley throw another rehab start, which he's going to do tomorrow. and then reevaluate for the homestand. You've seen Corbin in big games. Bruce Bochy talked about it, kind of come through. He came through the other night when the Rangers, needed a win, and there's Patrick Corbin standing there, shutting down the Astros. So if he can do that against the Mets, a team that he has a lot of familiarity with from his last stop,
Of course.
and they him, although he's changed a lot. He's not the same pitcher he was the last 5 seasons with the Nationals. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to see how these young guys with the Mets handle the spotlight. They're all very talented, but maybe the game speeds up on them. You saw the Phillies kind of responded to McClain the second time they faced him. Still an effective start for the kid, but maybe the Rangers have something for him. We'll see, but
yeah. And Leon's in there saying he's seeing Sproat for the Saturday game. Did the Rangers update? Do you know? Or are they still calling that a TBA?
Well, let me see. Let me take a look at the game notes from today. I just had them open and now I closed them. Anyway, okay. So even if it's Sproat, it's another
rookie.
It's another young.
Yeah, I mean,
another young fellow.
Yeah.
Former Rangers draft choice. By the way, he was a rare top 10 pick who got away from the Rangers. So stand by, John, while I call this bad boy up. Well, the Mets on the game notes have TBA. The
Okay,
Rangers did release. No, the Rangers released it during the game. I remember seeing a tweet during the game about it. So hang on one more second. Tong Sproat McClain.
Okay, it is
Sproat McClain. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So, like you say, young guys, you don't know what you're going to get. Obviously, they're talented, and they were ballyhooed. Especially Sproat and McClain when they were called up. That said, we've seen it. We've seen it with Jack Leiter. We've seen it with Kumar Rocker. I mean, these are young guys that are just learning their way and feeling their way in Major League Baseball. So all that means is, it gives the Rangers perhaps a bit more of an opportunity to have success against the Mets, and it just feels like they'll have success against the Astros, just kind of the way the Astros have been going and the way the Rangers are feeling against the Astros.
You're right, and again, the Rangers have played well in Houston since the ALCS.
Yeah.
They won the series right before the All-Star break there, and the way things are lining up early, I believe Kelly and DeGrom will end up pitching in that series. I think it would be Leiter, DeGrom, Kelly DeGrom. Maybe I've got it all screwed up, but the point is the Rangers are going to be throwing 3 pretty good guys at them, and that's not by mistake. Mike Maddox knows exactly what he's doing and has it all drawn out. And
and it would be Leiter, Kelly, DeGrom. So DeGrom would pitch that finale. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's setting up to be a great one and a great opportunity for the Rangers. And with look, I don't know what the Blue Jays are going to do to the Astros tonight. They broke their hearts last night, came back late.
Yeah.
And then you never know what you're going to get with the Braves. It depends on their starting pitching because that lineup is terrifying. It is on the road. And one other thing I was thinking about, it rains a lot in Atlanta. And I was thinking, boy, a rain out and having to play a doubleheader, let's say a getaway day doubleheader, that would really benefit the Rangers. So anyway, whatever happens. But I do like the Rangers' chances in that series.
I do. I like the Rangers' chances a bunch in the series. That said, I was talking to some people before the game today, and where you get greedy about a sweep that they did accomplish against the Brewers is, it buys you a little equity to be able to say, yeah, they can go 3-3. on the road trip, right? I mean, all you have to
Yeah.
do is keep winning at a 667 ish percent, and you feel like you're going to get to 87 wins, and you feel like it. So this win was big today to complete this sweep to give you just basically, lack of a better word, a little money in the bank.
Yeah, and I don't know what number we're all shooting for here. What is going to make the
Right.
postseason? Where do the Rangers need to be? I think a lot of it depends on who. The tiebreaker situation is a big deal now. It's
Yeah.
the Rangers have the tiebreakers against basically nobody. If they beat the Astros in this next series, they'll have the tiebreaker over the Astros. But right now, it's you look and well, the Mariners have it, and oh yeah, the Yankees have it, and
Hmm.
whoops, so do the Red Sox, and so the Royals definitely do, and so the Guardians. That's the last series of the year. The Rangers, um, took care of business here, so it would have to be a Cleveland sweep in that scenario to get it even, and then go to whatever the second one is if they somehow remain tied. But um, I don't know. The Rangers have what, 15 games to go. Um, 9-6, 86 wins. Does that get them in? Is that
Yeah.
enough? Do they need to go 10-5? I'm not sure. It's not like anybody's pulling away. That's the thing. How
No.
many wins do the Mariners and the Astros have in them? Because
Yeah.
they've got tough schedules. All
Yeah.
right, they have some
Yeah.
tough schedules too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Rangers need to win as many as they can. Let's just leave it at that.
They
And if it's
do, and
86,
they're 14-4 in their last 18. Neither one of those
yeah,
teams are close to that, right? And recently, I mean,
yeah,
I think the
yeah.
Astros are 3-7 in their last 10.
Um, yeah, I think you're right too. And Misty, I don't remember. It was a 4-game series to start the year, right? So the Rangers went 3-1 and then lost 2 out of 3 in Boston, so they would have the tie break. Um, anyway, it's still going to be. Let's still count that tiebreaker scenario. Let's not necessarily, okay, not the Red Sox, but the other clubs I mentioned.
Right.
Um, anyway,
Oh, and that game
hey,
looks like that game's over. The A's just beat the Red Sox, so
okay, all right. Well,
a walk-off by the A's. Okay.
there you go. So I just we're throwing around all these scenarios we didn't think we'd be throwing around at this time, John. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. After that Kansas City Toronto road trip, I was like, all
Right.
right, well, let's see what happens on this homestand. Not expecting much, and then boom, something good happens, and then well, they
Yeah.
got to go do it on the road, and they did enough on the road, and
Yeah.
like, oh well, they got another tough one, and look at that, look at it now. They win 5-1 against the Astros and the Brewers. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's happening. It's a
Yeah.
real thing.
Yeah, and I think there's something, Boach was telling us in the dugout before the game, this is what it's all about. This is so fun. This is September. And I think that, we go all the way back to when Boach first got here. And Chris Young's narrative was, and I said this on the to the chat before you got here, was, when Bruce Bochy walks in the room, the heart rate of everybody in the room goes down because he's just so easy going and laid back. He's obviously intense, but he's so calm. He knows so much, right? And I wonder if that's paying a dividend, especially for these young guys who look like the game is slow enough, at least for them right now. Maybe
Yeah.
Boach is calming them enough to have them prepared for something like this, and then of course it's great credibility because it's so much fun. You just want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I think, and I tried to ask this after the game of the manager, and he kind of he unfortunately didn't buy into my theory, but he's talking about, oh, there's all this energy that the kids are providing, and it's great. And in the next breath, it's like they're able to move on. They can put a win or a loss behind them and just look at the next day. I thought that would be something that the veterans would be. It's the manager. Maybe
Yeah,
the next day Cody Freeman shows up fired up and sees the manager just walking around like he always does, like it's no big deal what happened yesterday. Maybe that's the influence that the manager is having, in addition to making some
doing everything he can to get runs. I mean, you cannot say that Bruce Bochy is not using every player on the bench,
No,
and
no.
just about every pitcher too. I mean, poor Carl Edwards Jr. He hasn't been used, but the Rangers are going deep on the bench. They're going deep into the bullpen. I mean, Luis Corvello got big outs yesterday.
Yeah.
A guy who didn't make his debut until the second half, and all of a sudden he's a guy they want in the fifth or the sixth inning if a starter gets in trouble. So, it really is everybody's contributing. Rowdy Tellez, who hadn't batted in about 5 years, comes up today and drives in a run with a little ground ball to second base.
Productive.
That was a big run. That was an important play. A 3-run lead is a hell of a lot different than a 2-run lead.
100%.
So it really has been everybody.
Yeah, it's been great. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about this team, and we'll relook at the standings and everything. Now that Athletics Red Sox's game is done, we'll talk about that and talk some other things in baseball. Chat with you next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. And hey, we want to remind you about our merchandise, of course. It's always available for you at store.allcitynetwork.com. Absolutely love our collection, our Dallas collection of shirts there. The Nolan Ryan one with Robin Ventura is a big seller and very popular. We gave that to Anthony Andro the other day, and he's very, very happy and proud to wear it. We gave the Dallas versus all y'all to John Daniels, who said that not only did he want it, he had been given a different shirt before. He liked it so much, he's purchased some shirts. And now he has that one for being our guest on the show earlier in the week. If you didn't catch that show, go back and look at it. It was a really fun show, and it'll remind you how you can also be a part of Do It for Durrett, which is coming up on Friday. There's a golf tournament that's sold out, but the event at Texas Live is Friday night. So anyway, store.allcitynetwork.com for you to get your merchandise. I think you'll really like it. And Jeff, we saw it in our personal private chat yesterday.
Oh, did we?
The hats are coming, and the skipper's still saying that the first one's going to Jason Kidd, but I saw you. I'm second.
Yeah. Well, we appreciated Jason Kidd coming in studio and saying he saw the shirt and he's like, "Hey, you guys have any hats?" So that's why he's getting his first, and I guess I'll let him have it first. But
sure, yeah,
I can't
skins
wait
on the wall. Yeah,
and I hope that the one that was in the chat isn't the only one.
Right.
It's great looking, but I hope that there's ones that match all of our team's colors, because I want to buy more than one. I don't want to buy 3 of the same one, because I do wear out a hat.
I bet you do.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can't wait, and you guys will love the hat with our partners at Branded Bills. So that'll we know those are high quality caps. So keep your eyeballs out for those because they're coming, and I can't wait.
All right, so let's look at the American League West standings first. Then again, and the number that really matters hasn't yet changed. It's the 2 there. The Rangers are 2 games behind the Astros. As Jeff and I have said on the show a couple of times recently, it wouldn't be surprising that the Astros tumble all the way down to the 3rd spot, and then it's a battle between the Mariners and the Rangers for the top spot in the West. We'll see how that all plays out, and the only difference in this one from the last time we showed it is that the Athletics have one more win down there because they just walked off the Red Sox. The standings over there in the wild card did change just a little bit too because the Red Sox have another loss on their ledger. And how about that? The Rangers right now are 1 game behind the Mariners. Now, again, they gained a half game on the Mariners and the Astros because neither team has played yet today. But they gain another half game, Jeff, if both those teams lose.
Correct. And, now the Rangers are off tomorrow. So I think I believe the Mariners and the Astros both play. So the same scenario could could
Sure.
hamper
Yeah.
the Rangers. They could lose ground on their off day, also make up ground on their off day. But it's good to have the off day here. I think that's why Sean Armstrong went back out for the ninth, because the Rangers knew they were going to be off tomorrow, so they could push him a little bit more. Robert Garcia, I believe, worked back to back, so it's or 2 out of 3, whatever it is. And how about Robert Garcia?
Yeah.
He's been pretty good here. 10 straight scoreless appearances after he made everybody in the world mad at him. So good for him to figure it out, to have the little hiccup, and now again look like a pretty vital part of this bullpen. And then the bullpen's been very, very good. Hobie Milner got a big out today.
Yeah.
That was a big situation. The tying run was on. The 2 tying runs were on base. The winning run was at the plate, or go-ahead run was at the plate. He got it. And then it was a big that battle with Yelich that resulted in a strikeout. I believe who was that? Was it? I think it was
Armstrong.
I don't even remember. But anyway, that was a huge situation. That guy's frightening. Does he ever not hit the ball hard? I guess if he swings and misses, he doesn't hit it hard. But goodness gracious, what a guy that the Brewers have in him, and you hope he stays healthy for their sake. And really, I'm impressed with this Brewers team. I know the Rangers didn't see their well, they did see their best starter today, but and avoided the high leverage arms that the Brewers use late in games with leads. But that lineup's got some punch in it, and Terang is a nice player. Churio is a good young player. You have Yelich, and then it's the guys on the fringes that they have to win with, and like Jake Bauers who's had a nice year, hit a home run last night, and Sal Frelick, one of their young guys. It just seems like there's a reason why they're good. It's because they can score and they can prevent runs. They just didn't do it as well as the Rangers the last 3 games.
Yeah. No, it's been really fun to watch this team not only score and keep scoring, and like you said, last 2 games comeback. It's only their 14th and 15th comeback victories of the season, which is a low number relatively speaking at this point in the year. But it's really fun to see these young guys come back. But it continues to be, and this is one of the things we talked a lot about to guys prior to the game today, Jeff. It continues to be fun to watch this team pitch. Yes,
yeah.
There's not a closer. We get it, right? We too have talked about it since the beginning. But the bullpen numbers are fantastic, and the starter numbers are even better. And no matter who's been in or who's been out or who's sucked for a minute, a la Robert Garcia, the numbers have stayed strong.
Correct. And that was something that Jake Berger took time out of his or during his chat with us after the game to call it, to give a shout out to the bullpen, and he said the only time we really talk about them is when something goes wrong, and that's 100% true. We're all we're all guilty of that. And they've just been steady. Now you may not, honestly, you may not feel great when the bullpen comes in the game, but I think that's the fans of every team,
right?
I don't think that Rangers fans are alone, and it's not unique to Rangers fans. I bet Padres fans who have, the Padres have this wonderful bullpen. I thought that, I bet that Mason Miller comes in the game and they're like, oh God, what if he's not throwing 105? What's going to happen? I'm sure there's some panic again, even with Chapman, Aroldis Chapman, who's on this unbelievable streak. I'm sure Red Sox fans are like, and maybe that happened today. But maybe the Red Sox fans are like, oh God, here we go. But it is misplaced when you look at the final numbers and just what the Rangers have done with their bullpen. And it's guys who are experienced, guys who don't care when they pitch, and it's really like you said, it's been fun to watch.
It's unlikely that a run like this of pitching, of excellent pitching throughout an entire season will happen again. So it makes it, I suppose there's even, I don't know, a little bit more pressure to have success, to be able to take it to the postseason at least, and reward the fans, and not waste, for lack of a better word, not waste the effort of these pitchers all season long.
Yeah, and it was Chapman who was the losing pitcher in today's ball game. He gave up 2 hits. How about that?
Wow, he didn't used to do that. 50 in a
2
row,
hits
he
in a
didn't
run.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the winning hit was by Lawrence Butler, who was a left-handed batter, no less. So anyway, so now Red Sox fans think they have the worst closer in baseball, probably.
Sure.
Anyway, it's just the highs and lows of a baseball season. You're going to have a guy who for 2 weeks sucks, and that was Robert Garcia.
Yep.
And now he's fixed. Now I don't think he's going to be the closer anytime soon, because Sean Armstrong's been really, really good the whole second half. But Armstrong gave up a run yesterday, and that was a hairy situation, that save.
Yeah.
Because then he gave up a hit and I think 2 more hits, and had to get Yelich there for the last out of the game. That's no fun. But again, these guys aren't scared. They've faced great hitters throughout their careers. Just look at their track records and where they've pitched and who they've pitched for, and the postseason and all these things. Once these guys experience all of it, they don't get intimidated by anything.
Yeah, they don't, and that's a great thing. And it's a great thing when young guys like this don't. I talked to Cody Freeman for a few minutes before the game today, and I was just asking him if he felt like there's this sort of aha moment where your confidence just clicks in. And his answer was so good. He's like, "Oh, everything we're doing is all for the team." And like, it was just so sincere, and like he was almost taken aback that there would be any thought of individual. And I think that speaks well to how he's been brought up as a human being, also how he's been brought up through the organization. Like, he's not. Because I asked it in the context of his hit against Framber, and he's like, I'd faced this pitcher 2 times in the game. I have some knowledge. I need to get a hit because that's what we needed. We weren't scoring runs at that point, right? I mean, it's just like, that is such a mature and wise approach to how you need to be, handling yourself at this level, at this stage of a season.
Yeah, and with these young guys, they have some polish on them, and I think it's because they play the game the right way. To your point, these guys aren't your 30 home run hitters. They aren't your first round draft picks. Freeman was a 4th round pick, but you heard JD say the other day he was a little undersized.
Yeah.
And he still is not 6'5". He hasn't grown a lot, I don't think, since the high school, but he knows what his role is, and he knows that what his job is, and it's not hitting the ball out. It's manufacturing runs and moving the line and doing what he can. And he can hit home runs and has, but getting a base hit to start a rally is huge. Getting he drove in the game's first run yesterday, or the Rangers' first run yesterday. That's big. He had a hit today. Hellman didn't homer today, but he had a hit, and he scored a big run. So they're all doing something, and I think it's, again, because they haven't been on a pedestal. They haven't been the coveted prospect he's their top prospect, or Baseball America writing long, beautiful stories on him, like I've done on some Rangers prospects in the past. It's they have a little fight. They have to play a little bit differently to succeed, and they're doing it.
They really are. It's been really fun. We have a fun day tomorrow, too. We're going to have former Rangers assistant general manager Thad Levine on our show tomorrow, which will be really fun. Thad's not the general manager in Minnesota anymore. He's got a podcast, so he's going to join our podcast, and maybe someday we'll join his too. We'll see if we're going to owe him one or he'll owe us one or however that works. But anyway, that's tomorrow, 1 o'clock, our normal edition, our normal time of the show. The Rangers win and sweep the best team in baseball, 6-3, the final today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 on another edition of the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.